Hey, everybody. Welcome to SF Indie Fest. We have a really special film that you just had a chance to see, The Legend of the Vagabond Queen of Lagos, one of our closing night films. This was a neat film to kind of discover out of the Toronto International Film Festival earlier this year. And so thanks again for making it and sharing it with us all. Welcome. Can you each introduce yourself?
Yeah, go ahead, James.
Hi everyone, my name is James Taylor. I work for an organization called Slum Dwellers International in Cape Town. Great to be here.
My name is Matthew Surf. I'm a filmmaker based in Seattle, Washington. Actually, I used to live in Oakland, so shout out Bay Area. Um, I spent several years living in Lagos from 2018 to 2021, working with the wonderful team that brought this film to life. Um, I will just also mention other folks who aren't able to make this call. It's 9:30 Pacific time and late evening in Lagos. So the time difference is a bit of a barrier for the Zoom calls, but we are a 7-person directors collective. We call ourselves the Agbajawo Collective. Agbajawo means unity in Yoruba. We have not on the call right now is Sam Okechukwu, Tinkpo Shegun Elijah, and Ogunbamila Temitope on the call but muted, and we'll see if they can pop up is Bisola Kimuwiwa and Tina Dukpo. And we together make up the 7-person directors collective on this film. Bisola and Tina, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, do you want to introduce yourselves?
And if you can turn on your video, that would be great. If not, voice will be fine.
Hi,
Welcome.
thank you.
Maybe a good place to start was what was the genesis for the story that we see captured in the film?
Please, can you come again? Because the place I am is a bit noisy. Let me get your question again.
The question was, what was the genesis of the film?
The genesis of the film.
Yeah, as in, how did it begin? Like, why did we make the film?
Okay.
And
It's not
if you can turn on your video so everyone can see you.
okay. My environment is really good
It's okay.
because you can hear there's a noise at the background.
No, we
So
can
I'm
hear you
trying
well.
to. Okay.
Thank you
Okay.
for joining us.
Actually, thank you. Actually, we really start the movie because of our struggles and the challenges we are facing in Nigeria concerning forced eviction. So, at the first, we come together and meet in federation. We meet each other in federation, and in federation, each and every one of us are slum dwellers, and we face this challenge of eviction, demolition, the government. First thing that happened in the office was we undergo a training of community journalism just because of the media houses. We find out that the media houses doesn't carry our true stories. They they twist the story and they support the government because we are less privileged. They thought that we don't have the power. So we have to come together and the supporting NGO have to get us a trainer that train us as a community journalism. So from there, from the little documentaries that we make, we think that's not enough. We want it to be something big. So we come together, start discussing about how to make a feature film to let the world know about what is going on, how the demolition is affecting people, and all the bad impact about demolition rather.
Nice. And what sort of um, when you dug into it, how did you decide your genre? Or this what are the sorts of films that inspired your guys' approach?
Mm.
What is Matt, can you come with the question because I can't hear you?
Yeah, he was asking like which films did we watch that inspired us? Um,
Oh,
yeah.
we watch a lot of movies actually with James, and we watch the Human King, and especially what happened in that Human King is what that even give me more energy to push, especially the woman leading that Human King. That was when I said, and also that Human King story is a bit, it's a bit linking to our story from the background of our story. The Human King story is a bit in it. You see that one, and also watch Slumdog, uh, Raya and the Last Dragon, Queen of Catway, a lot of
Mm,
movies that are all these feature a lot. So from there, I have to gather some of ideas, the pinch, where the story turns, and a lot. I have to from there. I have to follow up with myself and build up myself. To me,
yeah.
they are good.
I would say some of the other ones. Thank you, Tina. That's a good summary. Some of the other ones that we watched back when we first started writing, one was City of God, the Brazilian film. Um, and is that Dara? Oh, that's Tina's daughter.
Mhm.
We watched City of God, which informed sort of the brand of um, social realism that still carried, I think, some broad entertainment value for our audience. But we drew on that film particularly in its casting approach. They cast almost exclusively a cast of people that were from the community that they were filming in, and I think that was part of how they were able to achieve the level of realism that they were, and that greatly. I mean, they had found people from the community and done a 6-month acting workshop with them, and we
Mhm.
had planned to do that. Our 6-month acting workshop was truncated down to like more like 6 days of scrambling before the shoot, but nonetheless, that was kind of our approach and informed our casting. Um, we watched a South African film called Tutsi that was also really kind of humanizing what in Lagos they call touts, which are these sort of thug characters that are often portrayed in films as one-dimensional, um, bad guys and foils for the protagonist. But and this was a film that really humanized people from that background and lived in that world in a really interesting, nuanced way. So that was, I think, a big film for us in building characters like Indiana and Alapalebe. But I would say our main inspiration was just the real world. Our characters were all built from our first step in the story development was interviewing over 100 different characters from um, communities across Lagos, real people, understanding their stories, and then building those kind of combining those stories into the characters that you saw in the film. Um, yeah.
Bernie, and I know one of you had mentioned earlier that that this is a work of a collaborative. Often when people think of filmmakers, they often think of like the auteur, like the one filmmaker, and so it's really neat that this film project was this kind of larger group project. So, can you tell us a little bit about how this collaborative started and how the creative process maybe was different? Um, in being a collaborative versus maybe a more traditional film crew?
Can I take a stab?
Yes, go ahead, James.
Making this film was really interesting because we did a lot of personal growth work, and talking about our own stories and what it means growing up. I remember some of those early workshops, people really opened up and shared, and a lot of the ideas for the story, came from those interactions and that openness. And then we did amazing script retreats where we'd be able to take ourselves, out of Lagos and hole up and really just focus on the story and plot it all out on paper and talk about archetypes and talk about story arcs and watch films and talk about them, and just loads and loads and loads and loads of talking, and that really made the script very real, very authentic, and I think we were very happy, watching the film on the big screen in Toronto and feeling people respond to that authenticity as well. Demi! Demi, I see your face.
I'll ask to unmute the.
Papa James.
Aha! Hey, you called. You look cold.
Yes.
Oh, don't catch you.
No,
You're
they will
becoming a
pop
Canadian now.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's such a fun and visceral, film. Can you tell us a little bit about the production in the sense of like how long did you guys spend, filming it, and how much of the story was was figured out before the editing room, and how much in post production?
Sammy, you want to jump in?
Okay. So it actually took us like a month and few days, like can say like 33 days. So basically that's how long it took us. But we were able to figure out most of the things we wanted. So post-production was just for pickup shoots, because there were some shots, like some establishment shots that we didn't have during the shoots that we had to go back to the communities to take. But most of the shots were taken during production, like most of it.
And have you had a chance to screen the film locally at all? And what have people's responses been?
Yes, we've been able to screen it locally. So we were selected for a festival in Lagos, African International Film Festival, which took place in Lagos itself. So apart from that, we have also been able to screen the film in communities, like the communities that the film was made. So because most of the scenes in the film are from these communities that we stay in. So we have been able to take this film to the communities and show it to the people. And so I'll just talk about the reaction from Africa. So reaction from Africa was diverse. So many people do not really know about what is going on. So they were able to be informed, and we were able to tell them to join like the movement to end forced eviction. And there were some people that we know that already know about the issue, and they just want to see the film because they've been hearing about it for a very long time. You will have heard that it took like 7 years before we were able to finally bring it out. So, but the reaction from the community members were very, very like awesome, because we filmed this in the same community we're screening. So they were seeing people they knew, and they were like, "Oh, see this person," the reaction when you see somebody on a big screen, and then you are seeing something you have experienced that is being shown to you. So there were different emotions at the time. And I mean, in as much as we want to show this in film festivals, it was awesome to actually see that we were able to show it in these communities and see people's reaction, basically.
Very cool. Well, you guys did an awesome job. Do you have a next film in mind? And do you think it would deal with the kind of some of the underlying social and political issues, or how similar or different do you think the next film would be?
You want to go again, Timmy?
You want me to go again?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Okay.
you go first.
Okay. So I would say that there are so many issues in our community that we have really not spoken about. And if we don't speak about this issue, who will? So we have lots of issues that we still need to talk about that people have not heard yet. So we're actually planning another film, and it is also collaborative. The collective are all coming together to make this film. But we started the process, and we are in the story hunting process where we train the people we want to write the story about. So we don't just want to go into like a place and just tell the story and not involve the people. So the people were trained on how to collect stories and make interviews, about camera and camera angles and all of that. After they were like, I think there was like two times they were trained, like two times, so it was like 2 phases of training. So the next phase we are in now is gathering of stories, like the story hunting process, so that we can flesh out the storyline and what we really want to focus on.
Very cool. Well, thank you again for being part of SF Indie Fest. We're really excited to have it as closing night. We're excited to kind of share the audience's reaction, just because you guys have made a really special film, and then definitely keep us posted on the next one.
Thank you for having us. We're really excited to be there, and wish we could be there in person, but we're there in spirit.
Very cool. We'll keep on making the great films that you guys make.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. See ya.
Thank you so much.
Take care.